Welcome everyone to the today's after church tea time discussion for the sermon from Valentina about surrender wounds and receive the love of Father God. So it's a really beautiful sermon from Valentina, and it's really touching the heart of everyone in this journey when we heal the wounds and really look at how to receive the love of Father God, and how do each one of us like moving through this journey. So Valentina was talking about this very beautifully, sharing her own personal experience. So I just wanted to hear from Anvansha. So what she has taken from this sermon, and I'm sure like it's going to be a lot of insights from this discussion.
Yeah, like how she mentioned about um, everybody sharing a different relationship with their fathers. For some, their fathers were present, for some, fathers were not present. Like even before joining the journey and you start to understand the dynamics of the relationship, it feels like absenteeism from father is like a very normal thing because that's how, the societal upbringing is, that the father will go out and the mother will take care of you and take care of your needs while the father is responsible for earning money. But in a twin flame journey, like as we go deeper, like having a relationship with your father is like very foundational because it's like where you are also learning to have a relationship with masculine, right? And those wounds are like deeply triggered by your twin flame, how, like, because my father used to travel a lot for work, and most of the time it was just me and my mother at home, and like there was this things that we had to go out, and we used to wait for him to come back from his work tours, and then we can do this certain things where we had to go out for, shopping, or certain things if we have to go far away. So there was like a lot of codependency and absenteeism
Mm.
that I certainly did mirror, attract in my twin flame journey also through my twin flame. And like I was numbing out to that part that it's okay, it's absolutely fine. But after realizing, it was like there was actually no relationship that a father and daughter should have. It was more of, okay, 15 days in a month, my father is around, so I can be happy. And then 15 days, I'm just going to go back to waiting for him. So that is also like, how it reflected in my journey about waiting for the twin flame to show up, wanting to receive that kind of love, care, and affection. So yeah, those wounds and letting go of those wounds really does help in the journey.
Yeah, I totally agree. When my father used to be in a different country for work, so it's like once in a year he used to, come and visit us and stay with us for a month or something. So I do really understand the sort of like the waiting for the masculine, because father is the first masculine in your life, and that absenteeism is basically like also like receiving the love from the divine, right, as a father. Yeah, and I think the sermon Valentina talks about is like when you heal these wounds, and it is easy to kind of
Mhm.
open the channel to receive from the Father God. That's the true relationship. And it also took me a while, when I started with the teachings of union and, moving through healing my journey. It took a while to really understand the relationship dynamics with Father God, even having an acceptance of, God is my father, the true relationship what I have with the masculine. It was a little difficult in the beginning. So yeah, there are a lot of things to kind of came up in the masculine perspective, especially like the father related wounds. Yeah, it was really like nice to hear this sermon and take a lot of insights from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I feel like most of it, like initially, a lot of things, a lot of time goes into that resentment only to understand that why couldn't I get that from my father? Like that kind of support and all of that. But then you finally, you slowly learn to release control, and then you realize that, okay, we have chosen our family as a soul even before we took birth to learn our certain lessons. Like this recently, like I did my map, and then I realized that, okay, I need to take responsibility, that instead of putting it all on my father, how he did not show up, it was for me to also take like spiritual responsibility, that I chose them and I chose that for me to learn my lessons. So instead of holding on to resentment towards like your family or in like your immediate family, it's best that we take responsibility, we heal, and we claim God there. And when we do that, because as growing up, like I had a like strained relationship with my father where talking even for 5 minutes would turn into a fight. But as I started doing my inner work, projecting on him and all of that, like things have gotten much better. Like I also see him being more compassionate towards me, being more loving towards me, like honoring my boundaries more than ever. So that is something I feel that things do shift, and maybe like they are not doing their inner work still, so they won't be able to show up in full capacity. But as you start to love yourself and you start to claim God as your father and receive God as your father, things definitely do shift.
Yeah, I agree totally. And so, I mean, it's really to kind of know that the father, the biological father, because he didn't know probably like how to love himself and, give that love to, share with his like children. But even in that perspective, to really get that and heal the blocks. So once you heal the blocks, then you open up that path to receive that from Father God. So that is abundance that we receive, and the love, and everything. So it's a relationship, that we build with the God as a father, when really able to like heal these wounds, the father wounds we are experiencing. I know everyone has sort of like, it's not that even if it's a loving relationship, there were kind of absenteeism or maybe ignorance, or certain things would have been in the place in the relationship, because that is what the relationship dynamics is all about. But knowing the relationship is something beyond, and it's a relationship that truly with the God as a father, and that is a relationship you receive in this journey from your twin flame when you heal all that, and your twin flame reflect that back to you, having that softer and smoother relationship. So that was something, a very good insight, and sort of the learning that came in. Yeah, it's good to kind of listen to that sermon.
Yeah, it did bring up a lot of feelings, like
Mm.
even as I'm speaking about it, but it also does bring me like, to a place where I can see the progress in my inner work, like how triggering it was to now how it is. It's much better, a lot better, in fact. And it was like also, like, why are we here? Like, I was just, yesterday I was scrolling through open forum that someone posted something, and that is where Jeff commented that for your union with God is your priority, and twin flame union is a byproduct of that. So, like, not just father, like having that intimate relationship with God, like seeing him as whole, like source, like God is my father, my lover, my every relationship that I have in the physical reality is on the foundation of God. I think that's what we are here for, to have that, or probably like to get the understanding of that relationship, and seeing that God is the source of it, God is the foundation of it. And the moment we start going deeper in our relationship with God, every other relationship shifts. And that does not come from like control, that okay, this person is triggering me, so let me heal so that my dynamic with them change. But it's like going deeper in our relationship with God, and then even when you don't expect certain relationships to work out, it's you see them shifting, because it's ultimately like, a lot of people like also are scared that if they heal their parental wounds, their parents will go away or they will not support the union. But that hasn't been in my case. Like, it changed for better. Like, I see my parents more supportive of me and what I'm doing today,
Mm.
right? So it's about coming together in oneness. It's about coming together in love instead of holding on to the wounds. And when you're not holding on to the wounds, you naturally feel more love in your relationship, be it with your father, be it with your twin flame, or anybody.
Yeah, and my case was like my father used to live abroad, so it was like totally the physical absence, physical and emotional absence, because it was not really able to connect so much when I'm during my childhood days. Um, yeah, so it's like a very physical absence, I would say, from my father perspective. And obviously, like when he came back and started living with the family, by the time I was married and I was in a different house. So eventually, if I look at my whole life, I never had a chance to live with my father for like a long duration. So that also given a lot of kind of that it's not detachment, it's a distance from the masculine. So as I healed these, wounds to some extent, and I see that, what I experience is like, I don't know, my father started supporting without even asking, in different ways. Even with, I have seen him because I somehow perceived him as like he never emotionally connected with anyone, sort of, so I never felt that he has that emotional kind of feelings or connection with the children. But then I saw that he is very much relating in many scenarios, situations with my myself, like and supporting, even like with words and standing for me in discussions, family discussions, and all that. So yeah, so that was really beautiful to receive something never experienced or earlier and never expected. So the healings with mirror exercise definitely do change, and with the teachings of union, like so what it says. So even the teachings we receive, mostly from Jeff, being the masculine. I think that's something very profound in that, and we see that Shaleia is like kind of supporting, the teachings the whole through the classes. Yeah, it's nice to receive when we really heal these wounds with the masculine and receive that from our twin flame and also with other masculines around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about, maybe more with Valentina's sharing? So I think she was like giving a lot of her own experience, how her relationship with her father, and sort of like that is changing, and then healing those part of it.
Yeah, like, like when I was listening to the initial bits and pieces where she was talking about, like, the football clubs and the basketball clubs, and that's how, like, like I used to live close to my uncle's house, and I've seen them, like my uncle and like, so my cousin and I don't have much age gap. We have just 2 months of age gap, and so we were like two kids growing up in the same household. So that is where, like, I saw him with his son, where he would take him to cricket academy and all of that, and that is where but I used to feel that it's just because that he's like a boy and my uncle can relate better with the boy. And like, I was a single child, a girl child, and there was also like at our times, there was a lot of this thing around, like just being a girl child in the house, and a boy was expected, right? So that the father dads, like sorry, the dads can get some playtime, chill time with their sons, while you've got to treat your girl like a princess, like fragile and all of that. So I really didn't have it, and I like being raised with boys because I had two cousins, and I always had those instincts, like, okay, I want to go play cricket, I want to go play this, I want to go play this. And that is where, like, my father was always traveling, and that I think when I was listening to that part, that is what I remembered. Like, oh yeah, that is what I craved for. And I really never, because so, like, yeah, I understand that because I wanted that closeness. So I somehow masked into becoming that. You no, I don't like playing with dolls, or I don't like to sit back at home and color and get involved into girly things. Rather, I would want to go play out so that I could have that kind of relationship with my father. He would see me as a boy, and he would just do those sorts of things with me. But that didn't happen, and I think that is where I also stopped. Like, I'm having such a great realization right now that I also stopped being a feminine and expressing myself as a feminine. Like, I wanted to just be out and be a part of the guy gang, and like, just resonate with them, come along as, okay, yeah, she's like just um like one of us, so that I could get that masculine energy. And yeah, so it's like also when we are not receiving that, and it's like something that's very primary, we shut down our very core essence to become something where we can get that love.
Mm.
But ultimately, it's like you won't get it because you are losing your essence from what God created you. And we are meant to claim God more and more there so that we can, receive it. And it's like, yeah, I wanted to change myself so that I can get it from my father or my uncle, who I saw as like a father figure to me. But it's always like you get it from God. And as you do that, like now, as I'm doing that, I'm being more of my feminine self, taking care of myself. My dad literally shows up. Like, even when I'm going back to my parents' house, he would like keep calling me, where am I? And then so that he's there. If I'm out getting out of the car, he's there. Like, I don't have to carry my luggage. He's there to pick it up for me. And like, taking care of such certain small things. When I'm there, he knows what I like to eat, what not. So he would like rush to the market to get certain things out of me. So that's there. That could have only happened when I started to accept more of myself, rather than trying to be somebody that I was not, and trying to like, get it from them.
Yeah, totally. Like you were just reminding me like some stuff, the similar stuff. I remember I think it was in high school and I did have this additional coaching sessions. So for the school stuff. I was like, one day I was insisting my uncle because my father was not there because every children, their father used to drop them in either, the scooter or the bike. So I was insisting like my uncle should drop me. And I don't know, I think I cried or something. I don't remember exactly, but I remember like, so that was like, oh, something I have won, sort of a feeling. But yeah, this realization is about, how much you crave for that connection, yeah, that sort of like, that presence. But it's about claiming that with God and giving, God taking over that position and, giving you that love, the presence, the connection, and, being the masculine in your life. So that's something like beautiful in this journey to sort of know and, understand and, yeah, heal into that level of grounding into that relationship.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
And as you start doing that, you also see like that relationship dynamic shifting between you and your twin flame also.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can feel that heaviness drops down, the
Yeah.
veil, keeps dropping. Like, irrespective of the fact whether you are in communication with your twin flame or not. But the energetic heaviness also that you feel, like if you're in not communication,
Mm-hmm.
the heaviness that you feel, like the constant pressure of seeing your twin flame as somebody who's going to abandon you, and that you start to ground deeper into that trust that no, we are one. This can't, like, my man cannot abandon me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how the connection is. And as you start to ground deeper into that truth, a lot of things start to shift, like energetically also. And you stop giving more attention to the wounds and the triggers, but rather you prioritize your inner work.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually starts to, um, you know change everything in your twin flame journey. And like what I mean by that is that to be able to see that, like you also feel it in your heart that yes, that like if I'm interacting with the masculine, I can feel safe. Even if I'm interacting with my twin flame, I can feel safe in exploring and expressing myself. I won't get abandoned, I won't get cut out, I won't get shut down, right? And that is something that, that fast forwards your journey.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. Like when you heal these wounds and really like, you know, claiming God as your masculine in all the roles, like, even from father to, all other roles in your life. And you basically like grounding that energy, and then you receive that from your twin flame, because obviously as you heal, your twin flame is just going to mirror your healed state of, consciousness. So, yeah, that really feels good about this sermon, and bringing this topic, I think, to the kind of attention of everyone, so that whoever is listening today and about this topic, I think you will definitely have a lot of things you can take it and look at it in your own journey, and sort of like where you really need to have the relationship with God to establish and ground in your journey, so which is a good thing. Yeah, so with that, I just would like to maybe just kind of like let know my audience, our audience, that if you really would like to kind of donate and contribute in this teachings of union, and if you would like to have everyone to have this information, because everyone really like want to have this true love, the relationship with God, and really wanted to have the great life. So if you really want us to help spreading these teachings, you can donate and type to Church of Union. You can do it at unionism.org, unionism.com. And also, there are a lot of previous sermon discussions in the YouTube channel of Church of Union. You can always go and watch it. There's a wealth of information there, and you will be definitely benefited from those information. Yeah, so with that, so I don't just want to check if Anvansha, if you have anything last minute to kind of share.
No, I feel good. I feel complete.
Okay, so nice. It was a nice discussion, and also like reminding some of the healings in our journey, the reflection. It was kind of good, and yeah, I also received a lot of things while discussing with Anvansha, and hope to see you in the next next sermon with another discussion. And yeah, you can always go and explore our YouTube channel, and also look at the unionism.com, so that you can have more information. So with that, we would like to close this discussion and have a nice day, evening. See you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.